Yo, what's happening? Patrick here, back with another video. And in this video I want to explain you how social media can ruin your life and why unplugging from it is the answer. But without further ado, let's crack right into this video. Social media has become a fixed part of our everyday lives. Ever since Facebook, Instagram and co. rolled around, we are embracing the advantages of these platforms. But also since they rolled around, experts have been warning us of the potential downfalls. This even goes to the extent that some experts say that these platforms can ruin your life and can ruin your relationships. In this video I want to investigate this phenomenon a little bit further and underlying it with a study from Rowland Miller, which was conducted in 2003. Now, if you think about your everyday life, it is going a little bit like this. While we go through our day, we're bombarded with constant push messages of breaking news, and we have a constant input and a constant influx of information coming in. We are never giving our minds rest. If you think about it, what we consume the most? Media and social media. Media is predominantly negative. It broadcasts wars, it broadcasts terror, it broadcasts everything negative you can think about. This will teach you how to fear, because fear sells. On the other hand, you have social media. Social media always depicts the positive side of everything. There are countless amounts of baby photos, pet videos, and people highlighting their amazing travels and lavish, luxurious lifestyles. So this reinforces envy. So the two main emotions that are being pushed by the consumption of media and social media are fear and envy. We are always feeling these two emotions, and inevitably it will end up decreasing our self-esteem and our well-being. Let's zoom into social media. If you think about it, social media is simply a concoction of all the highlight reels of the people that you follow. Your whole feed, when you scroll up and down, what you're going to see is their perfect lives, the highlight reels, only the positive sides of their life. They never broadcasting negative sides of things. And although I'm being quite honest on social media and in real life, I'm guilty of that myself. I sometimes just show the positive sides and leave out the negative sides. So what happens is when you scroll through and see people traveling to places that are being considered paradise on earth, or they are highlighting their newborn baby or their new house and their overall lavish, luxurious lifestyle, you start comparing their highlight reel with your everyday life. And you ask yourself, how can I ever measure up with these people? With these people that are so beautiful, that are so successful, that are so happy? And the answer is, you simply can't. Not only that, but also it can ruin your relationship. Yeah, you heard right. A study by Rowland Miller in 2003 exposed participants with pictures of attractive alternatives, either of the same sex and the other sex, or they didn't expose them at all to these pictures. What they did afterwards was, after they exposed them to these attractive alternatives, they were conducting a survey a month later to investigate if the relationship has ended, if they're still as satisfied with the relationship as before, and if they still find their partner as attractive as before. And the findings are quite shocking. The people that were exposed to the pictures of the attractive alternatives rated their partner as less attractive. They rated their relationship as less satisfying, and a good amount even actually split up in the time. And if you compare it to a control group, the effect was quite significant. So what does that mean in simple language? Now, if you think about it, this just means that when you go through your Instagram feed and you look through all of these beautiful people, you compare yourself and you compare your partner with them. At one point, you're going to be less satisfied with your own relationship, and you risk even splitting up with your partner. Now, the most interesting fact in that research was that they also measured attentiveness. They looked if the participants paid attention to the photos at all, or if they just simply glimpsed over it. The way they did it was by measuring the skin conductance. The skin conductance should show if there's arousal, some sort of emotional response to these pictures. Now, if the partner had a emotional response to those pictures and therefore was quite attentive to the photos, what happened was that the effect was exacerbated. So it was bigger, it was even increased. When the participant didn't pay attention at all, was not aroused at all, the effect was going down to zero. Now let's zoom out a little bit and see what we can learn from all of this. Now, as you can see, social media can in fact ruin your life. Because what is more important than your mental health and your relationships? Nothing really. So, what you hear most people suggest is that you should unplug completely from social media, that you should not use it at all. Rather go back to an old flip phone and don't even use the internet. But I think this is a little bit far-fetched because we all know that social media has a lot of advantages and that using media and social media day in, day out is almost inevitable. I want to give you hands-on advice on how to deal with this problem and what you can learn out of the research that I just presented you. What I simply want to explain you in this video is how you can apply a principle that's commonly known, which is the principle of dieting. I simply call it a diet for the mind. It is a way of cutting out everything that is not essential, that is not important for you. And just like a diet, you cut out all of these foods that are not essential, that are not important for you, that are calorie dense, and you simply start losing weight and feeling better. The same principle applies when you start regulating your media consumption and cutting out non-essential sources and being, so to say, a gatekeeper in this whole process. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to cut out social media entirely. That's why I have 3 tips for you how to manage your social media consumption in a responsible way so it doesn't take away from you and it doesn't ruin your relationships and your life. Number 1, filter information. Now, like I said before, you want to act as a gatekeeper. You want to pre-select the media you're going to consume, whether it's social media, books, television, movies, whatever it is. You want to pre-select what is important, what is not important. Simply be a gatekeeper. And like I said before, such like in a diet, in clean eating, try to figure out what are the essentials, what are the non-essentials. And just consume the things that seem to have value to you. Number 2, be aware. Now, like I said before, in the study, one important element was attentiveness. How much attention people paid to the attractive alternatives. And as I said before, I'm going to get to it, so here's promised. Here's a little caveat. Now, if you just scroll through your Instagram or Facebook feed without paying attention, you might end up comparing yourself, your everyday life, to their highlight reel. This inevitably will lead to a downward spiral of self-doubt and decreased self-esteem. And in some cases, just like the study suggested, it can even ruin your relationship. Because at one point, if you're not aware of the fact that this is just the best of the best, the highlight reel, you will compare yourself to everybody else and you will compare your partner to everybody else. So be aware of that fact and tell yourself that this is not reality. This is just part of reality that exists. When you're going to do that, you will bolster yourself against the effects of social media and it will not end up ruining your life. Number 3, take a break. Now, like I said before, some people want to suggest take a break, burn your phones, get rid of everything, don't even be on social media. And I think this is kind of ridiculous. This is a little bit over the top. We still want to take advantage of the upsides of social media, of course. This will still be part of our everyday life. What I want to suggest to you is that every once in a while just resist the urge to grab for your phone for maybe a couple of hours. A day like this and a surrounding like this is perfect. What you hear in the background is chirping of the birds. You hear the wind caressing my skin, almost like a really comfy coat. And I feel the sunbeams from the sun really making me warm inside and feeling good, quite frankly. And although this always sounds really woo-woo and it's almost guru-like, there's a part to be gained out of it. This is what I'm going to do today. As soon as the cameras shut off, I'm just going to soak in the environment. That's it. I'm not going to grab for my phone. I'm going to try to resist the urge. It's simply cultivating a new habit. And after a couple of hours, you're already going to see the difference. And I gotta admit, at one point, I used my phone way too much. So I had to do this kind of harsh cut. Because at one point, I almost had this phantom vibrating, where I felt my phone was vibrating, but there was no messages. At that point, I realized every once in a while, I have to just unplug. Put my phone on airplane mode, even shut it off, maybe even put it away, and just for a couple of hours, soak in the environment and the situation I'm in. Since then, I really can tell the difference. Things have changed and I just embrace my environment even more so. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you loved it just as much as I enjoyed filming it. Finally, I would love if you dropped it a like and you subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay up to date with my news uploads. And I'm gonna see all of you guys in the next video. But until then, peace. I was like, that was growing up, that was growing up, that was growing up. Good one.